dog's barking, if you don't mind, just having
I
a
mind.
peek at that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get going, guys. Welcome to today's session. Today, we are going to be discussing the 5 elements of a goalkeeper's development. And with that topic, we have 2 great coaches and better people. We have Tony Elliott and we have Ryan Godda Thompson. Ryan Godda Thompson, we're going to start with you, sir. Ryan is the goalkeeper coach for the Austin Bold FC. He is a former Jamaican international, and 2 proud moments that he has on his resume that I'm always proud to speak of. I won't lie to you, Ryan. Ryan beat the United States 2-1 in 2015 in the Gold Cup semifinal. I always tell him that it was the first time I've ever seen my 2 boys kind of root against the United States because of our relationship with him. And he's also the first Jamaican international to ever play in the UEFA Champions League. So it's a big accomplishment there as well. He is also a USSF National A senior license holder. I know he just got that. Except that you just got that just not too long, a couple months ago, Ryan. So congratulations and welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, and also the owner of RTG Academy in Tampa Bay. Tony,
thank
Elliott?
you, Eric. Happy to be here. Excited to see how this conversation goes. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for being here. Tony Elliott. Tony is the Birmingham FC Women's Lead goalkeeper coach. He has his UEFA B coaching license in addition to his UEFA Goalkeeping A license. He's the author of A Modern Approach to Goalkeeping. He is the lead goalkeeper coach or former lead goalkeeper coach for the FA in England for the deaf-blind football squad, in addition to a former international English futsal national team goalkeeper coach. Tony, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Eric. Great to be here again.
Great to have
this
you.
Evening over here in the UK, of course. We're just going past 10 p.m. now. So it's been a long day. I've just arrived back home from our game versus Arsenal in the WSL top league of women's football here in the UK today. So unfortunately, we got beat 3-0, but it's a tough game, but a good performance from our goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton, today. So really pleased with that. But great to be here. Great to see the numbers. And really excited to be doing the work this evening with you guys.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start off with an overview with Tony. He's going to kind of go over what you saw in the coaches panel discussion, just a quick couple minutes there. Ryan's then going to facilitate a conversation around some of the examples of some of the elements of development in specific elements. And then we're going to get into some questions and some breakout room and dissect some film. Then come back, we'll present back to your group, we'll present back to the respective larger group, and we'll then debrief and we'll get you out of here. Essentially, today is a setup of the foundation for everything we're going to do in 2021. So more to come on that at the end. But let's start. Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir. Go right ahead.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen with everyone. Guys, if anybody has a problem seeing the screen, then just let Sam or Eric know. Is somebody in the background there with an open mic? You need to mute it. Yeah, make sure you're on mute, guys. Cool, there we go, jackpot. Okay, so great to see you all. Obviously on my screen, I can only see Eric and Sam. So if during the process this evening, if anybody needs to speak at all, just make sure you let Sam or Eric know. But as Eric's alluded to, we're going to focus on something that we started beginning the works on in April, May time this year, which was the 5 elements of development, okay? And looking into how we develop goalkeepers holistically across those 5 elements of development, okay? So just a quick brief overview of what are the 5 elements of development, okay? As I said to you, they're used to develop goalkeepers holistically, okay? And obviously to give you a better understanding of a certain skill or technique that your coach might be trying to get across to you in any given session. Obviously, this is based on analysis, okay? And obviously, it'll be working around goal setting throughout your sessions and then throughout the games that you go into. And what we're trying to do with this, guys, is to encourage coaches to break down the sessions because we need them to consider the impacts that their coaching, the way that they work with you will have on you as goalkeepers. So in essence, that's what we're trying to look at when we look at the 5 elements of development. As you can see there, I've created a 5 elements wheel as such. So we've got at the top technical, then we work around to tactical, physical, psychological, and social. No one is more important than the other, and as you can see, they all interlink. As I've put the arrows in there for you to show that not one is more important than the other, but they all complement each other. Okay, so when we talk about the characteristics of a goalkeeper in the modern game, what are we looking for? We're looking at their technical ability. Okay, do you understand, and are you going to be able to develop the technical side of your game? So can we work on your technical ability? Do you have tactical awareness? So can we bring you a broader understanding of your role within the game, but also do you begin to understand the tactical side of the game? Do you have the physical capability to be a goalkeeper? Obviously, we're going to look at some of those physical aspects when we go into the that element of development. Big part of goalkeeping now, from my point of view, and I know the coaches we're working with this evening, is the psychological side. So can we help you develop and work on your psychological balance? And then finally, looking at the social and emotional connection that you have with your teammates, with your coaches, parents, I guess, at times, and so on and so forth. And what we're looking to do, guys, as you can see by the paragraph on the right there, is maximising the holistic development and the performance of you as the goalkeeper, yeah? But what this does is it places a new and unique challenge at the feet of the goalkeeper coach moving forward. So as well as we're trying to develop you guys as goalkeepers, as coaches, we must grow and evolve with the game as it moves forward at rapid pace. Okay, so what are some of the challenges now that the goalkeeper faces in the modern game? Now, quite a few of these, quite a lot of these guys, you would probably look at more working towards the elite level, towards youth and professional level, which is where most of you are now. You're moving into that youth phase. Hopefully, we may have some of you that are getting close to that professional level phase, okay? What I've tried to do as well, if you look at on the left-hand side there, in terms of the elements, I've color-coded them for you. So again, technical's red, tactical orange, physical yellow, and so on. So what I've tried to do with the challenges here, in my eyes anyway, and again, some of them can cross over into more than one element, is to try and colour code these challenges that the goalkeeper faces into those specific elements in terms of the colour coding. So for instance, on the left-hand side there, about halfway down, you can look at, in yellow, which is on the physical side, the goalkeeper can cover now up to 6 kilometres a game, 4 miles, yeah? Predominantly that's at elite level, so obviously the younger we go, the less that will be. But that's purely and simply because of the role of the goalkeeper and how it's changed, okay? More demanding on the goalkeeper now. They're not just a shot stopper, they are the first line of attack. So they're going to be more involved both in possession and out of possession, okay? I've also looked at, if you look on the right-hand side, again, about 2/3 of the way down, understanding of new and innovative techniques. For instance, the way we look at dealing with 1v1s now. You know, a few years ago, we probably only had two ways of dealing with 1v1s, which were smothering and diving at feet. But now we're looking at blocking, low block, high block. We're looking at spreading. Add to that what we already had, smothering and diving at feet. So understanding of new and innovative techniques is very important, but that adds more challenges to you as goalkeepers. Not going to read through all of them, but there's just an idea of some of the challenges that you now face and how we might link them to specific elements, although some may cross over and dovetail into others. So, without further ado, enough from me. I'm going to start to look at some of these elements now. I'm going to hand you over to Ryan, and then obviously, Ryan, you let me know when you want me to move forward with any of the slides.
Perfect. Thank you, Tony. So here on the technical ability, we want to use the space right here to open it up to the goalkeepers. You know, I want to start a conversation, a dialogue. All right. So Tony, let's narrow focus a little bit on handling. And it's just a general question for anyone who wants to answer. What are some of these techniques that you may be called upon to use in games, and why it's important to select the right technique in the right moment? This is open. Feel free to start answering this question. Any goalkeeper.
One technique is the front smother and moving your feet and it's important to get that right because you can be more efficient if you move your feet rather than having to dive for everything.
Okay, and so question, I'm speaking, who is it, Akash?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so question, why is choosing the right technique, the right moment, why is that important? And what might impact those moments? What are some of the things that might change how you deal with a ball in a certain scenario in terms of handling?
Well, like you have to make the right decisions because you don't want to make up saves and some things that might change like the way you deal with some stuff. Or like the first thing that comes to mind is like if it's a bad pitch and then like someone like a shooter he might intend to hit it on the ground but it might take like a bad bounce. And if you're diving, then it's really hard to deal with that. But if you're moving your feet, your entire body is behind it. In worst case, it's just gonna bounce up and hit your face or something.
Awesome. Great job, Akash. Great job. Are there any other techniques in terms of handling and diving that we may call upon to execute? Anybody else?
Parrying,
Parrying.
and like that could be very important. Like if you can't actually reach the ball or anyway, then you can just actually go ahead and just make sure it's out of harm's way and not back into for a rebound.
Great job. Thank you. And then we could go on and on. We talk about our contour catch, our high contour, our low contour, our low collapse save, our medium collapse save. I could go on. A lot of time we find ourselves manufacturing saves, something that Akash alluded to. And it's just important that we make the right decision at the right moment so we can effectively do our job. Tony, can you take us now to the tactical side of it?
Yeah, of course, my friend. So what I'll do, Ryan, quickly before you move on. So guys, very important this as you move forward, and especially when you go into your breakout rooms, pay attention to these key headings, yeah? Because what we also have is the very clear detail, and Ryan, you've just spoken about this. If you all look at the handling and diving globe, for instance, that aspect, a couple of the things that were mentioned there, Ryan, you've actually talked about, they're in there. That's the key detail, yeah? So I'll move you now onto the tactical side, my friend. There you go.
Thank you, my friend. So let's narrow focus into support out of position. What are some of the general expectations of goalkeepers in the modern day when their team doesn't have possession of the ball? And that's a question for anyone.
For me, one of the biggest expectations I have for myself is like yelling at my team and making sure that they don't get a shot off.
Good. Is there anything else in terms of when a team doesn't have the ball? Let's say your team is attacking and they're in the attacking third, they lost the ball. What's your expectation as a goalkeeper in that moment?
Well, I want my front line to be organized, and I want my striker, my number 9, to go and pressure the ball right away and give more time for like the holding mids and our defense to get back and find their shape.
Good. I know I kind of alluded a little bit into the transition part of the game, but a general thing here, if we click the bubble as well, Tony, is the expectation for goalkeepers here is to stay connected. Gone are the days when we're just defending the goal. We're expected to defend the space, the area, and also the goal. So, we talk about then, staying connected with the team and organizing. Your positioning is also a key importance right there in that moment. Tony, can you then take me to psychological balance? Great job, Akash, again.
There you go, my friend.
Let's narrow the focus here into dealing with mistake. Why is dealing with mistake important, and what are some mistakes you have dealt with during the game and how you have overcome them?
Dealing with mistakes is very important because if you're not able to do that, then you could play much worse than you were before. And just like letting a goal in, making a bad decision, you just have to get over it and keep encouraging your team to push to get the equalizer or to make smarter decisions.
Good job. So let me ask you this question again. How have you personally dealt with the mistakes? How did you get over it?
Personally, I just like think to myself, there's always another chance. There's always another opportunity. There's always a way to score in the opponent's net, and there's always going to be more shots where you can make up for that mistake that you made.
Good job. Good job.
Coach, can I add something?
Absolutely, Akash.
So what he said was great, and he's right. Like you can't get salty about your mistake and then forget to believe that you'll get another chance. And another thing that's helped me get over my mistakes is like the relationship with your teammates, because there's a lot of times I've been in situations where I wasn't really like close with my teammates, and they get really mad at me if I made mistakes. But this year it's been different because me and my teammates like were really close, and every time I make a mistake, they're like, "It's okay, man. It's okay. Well, you'll get another chance," and that's really helped me deal with mistakes.
Ryan, yep, go on.
Ryan, can I just flick you on? So with reference to who was that just mentioned that the connection with the teammates?
Akash,
brilliant. Well, so look at this slide, my friend. Okay. So when you look at this slide, when we talked about the social connection, huge now when you think about the game of football, in particular the role of the goalkeeper. So not stealing your thunder, Ryan, but I just thought that was perfect time to get that slide on, my friend. So go ahead, pal.
No, I think, all the answers so far have been great. And I think a big part, just to add one more thing to dealing with mistakes, as goalkeepers, we put so much pressure on ourselves. The game and the responsibility and all that stuff. But we forget that we're a human being. And I think the best way to deal with that, I'm a human being, then I'm going to move on and learn from the mistake. So that's an advice to, all young goalkeepers, all the goalkeepers, because that's approach, the pros take, and they have to do that, so they could get back in the game to make a save whenever opportunity presents itself again. So back to you again, Tony.
Brilliant. Thank you, my friend. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to pop back. So when we look at now, as I said to you, there's our technical elements, okay? So as Ryan has already guided you through, these are the key aspects that we've come up with, guys. Now, we're not saying that this is everything that is involved in each element. We're just coming up with some key headings for you guys. Then what follows that is some real specific detail around each aspect of that element. So there's your technical, okay? There's your tactical, guys, okay, in terms of considerations of your role within the game and within the team. There's your key detail. Physical, what are some of the aspects that you need to think about in terms of your physical capability, speed, mobility, strength, balance, flexibility, okay, so on and so forth. There's your key detail. Ryan's already looked at the psychological side. Again, dealing with mistakes, emotional control. Are you a good learner? Are you robust? How do you get confidence? How do you lose confidence? There's your key detail. And finally, there's that social side, that I just alluded to and touched on. Again, managing mistakes is in there. Reflective. Are you a leader? Do you communicate well? Are you coachable? Yeah. And again, there's all the key detail that would be attached to those aspects. So we're going to move forward. I'm just mindful of the time, guys. Again, this is just a taster for you of what's to come in a lot more depth of detail in the coming months, through this program. We're going to break off into some breakout rooms. Okay, now we're going to designate a coach with a group of goalkeepers in each of these rooms. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to show you some clips. And when you go into your breakout rooms, you'll be working on a specific element. So if you're in the technical breakout room, guys, I only want you to think about and consider what the technical aspects are that you need to think about when you watch the clips, or what affected the situation technically. Likewise, if you're in, for instance, the physical breakout room, only focus on the physical side. When we do a review at the end, if you have any other pointers to add and you think you've seen something from one of the other four elements, that's fine. You can feed that back to the group. But in your breakout groups, guys, I only want you to focus on the specific element that we're asking for that group. I just want to make that clear, okay? And obviously look at what had the greatest influence and effect in those moments that we show you in the clips from your elements, Okay. Some idea again, guys, of what I want you to start thinking about when you watch the clips. And these are just some ideas. You'll come up with more. So which aspects, from each of the 5 elements were most influential in the 2 scenarios that you see? What helped or hindered the goalkeeper and his teammates during these game scenarios? We may not discuss all of them as noted there. Okay. And in particular, was there one element, more important than the others during either of these game scenarios? That might be something we touch on at the end. These are just some ideas. You'll come up with more challenging questions and thoughts when you go into your breakout rooms. Okay, so that's what the groups will look like. So if you're told you're in group 1, you'll be in the technical ability group. Group 2, tactical, and so on and so forth. Okay. Sam and Eric have already organised the room. So when we watch the clips, we'll watch them a couple of times. You'll then go to your breakout rooms. You'll have 7 or 8 minutes. Then you'll come back in and feedback. Okay. Eric, are we okay? Can we continue with the clips? Everybody happy?
Yep. Looking sharp. Go right ahead.
Okay. I'm going to turn the sound down because I just want you to watch the clips first. And what I've done, guys, I've chosen a top goalkeeper from the English Premier League, Casper Schmeichel. Has a very famous father. Peter played for Manchester United, and Casper is doing very well with Leicester City at the moment. Enjoy the clips, 2 different clips, and then we'll watch them twice back. Here we go. Okay. I'll turn the sound up this time, so now you can watch them again, okay, with the sound on. Casper Schmeichel, 2 saves. Okay, so hopefully the clips came across okay at your end. Hopefully you're seeing 2 fantastic saves by Casper Schmeichel. Little clue, I don't know if any of you noticed in the top left-hand corner, the score lines during the saves that he made and what was the times that the game was at during those 2 saves. A little bit of a clue for you. I don't know if anybody noticed it. Okay. Remember the 3 sort of ideas that I've tried to guide you towards that you need to start thinking about, but you'll have your own thoughts on them. Okay. But Eric, it's over to you now, my friend. There's the groups.
I'm just going to introduce you to the respective coaches in these respective groups. So group 1, technical ability group, will be led by Coach Sam Gribowitz. Coach Sam is the goalkeeper coach at California University in Pennsylvania. And the tactical group in group 2, we'll have Mackenzie Pinto, who's the goalkeeper coach at Arcadia University. For the psychological group, you're going to be dealing with Coach Mark Nowak, who is the assistant women's and goalkeeper coach for Fort Hays University. For the social connection, Mr. Greg Kenny. Coach Greg is the goalkeeper coach on the men's side at New York University. And finally, for the physical capabilities element of development, Mr. Taylor Thames, who is the assistant and goalkeeper coach at Army's West Point for the men's team. All right. So, Sam, you can go right ahead and add people to each group. And then once we're done, coaches, we'll talk. Thank you.
No worries. Make sure you click on join, guys, when the thing pops up on your screen, okay?
And make sure, coaches, you pick a leader, please, to present.
You just let us know, Sam, and everybody's disappeared into the rooms.
Will do, mate.
Top man.
5, we're here with 52. All right. Let's get rolling. All right, Tony, you want to go right ahead with reviewing the clips again?
Yeah, we're all back in. Okay. So if you remember, guys, just a quick recap. Those are kind of 3 sort of ideas I gave you, what you may want to start thinking about when you watch the clips. So hopefully you discuss those and obviously even more with yourselves and your coaches. So again, let's just watch the clips. And then Eric will take over and we'll start the feedback. So what did you see? What were your findings? What were the important influences from those 5 elements when you watch the clips? Okay, Eric, it's over to you, my friend.
All right, Sam, I'm going to start with your group. If you could just introduce who your leader is and let them speak to your findings, please. And please list the group name, what element you're detailing. I believe you are technical.
Technical. Yes, we focused on technical. And then there were a few who sort of had small bits of feedback. So I'll just start with Deanna. She had a good first point, so we'll let her take it away.
Okay, I made the point of his movement, following the ball, and staying on his line in good positioning to where the shot could possibly be at all times, which really made him successful in a way of making those saves. We talked about how 2 steps to the right on that first shot, he probably wouldn't have made that upper 90 save. And then also knowing when to come out and get on that second save really helped him in all aspects.
So his movement was the important thing, you think, or the minimal movement that he made? Is that what you're saying?
That and his positioning where the shot could possibly be taken was very important.
Right, okay. So can I just ask you a question, Indiana? So with his positioning, would you say that's a technical point, or would you suggest that might be more tactical?
In a way, technical, because it's the movement as well.
Right, okay. Okay, and we'll remind me of that point, because I may enlighten you, because it could involve even more elements when you talk about that movement. Okay, so but a good answer, well done, fantastic. Carry on.
Sam, others from your group?
I know both Hannah and then Matthew had some good contribution in there as well.
Okay, so we talked about if he was in making right decisions or not. I believe he made the right decision on both saves, meaning on the first one, he saved with his top hand instead of his bottom hand. And it also led to the psychological aspect, because he was very confident after that save, having it be in the first 2 minutes. And then on the second save, he was smart on smothering instead of just scooping the ball, because there were a lot of people in the area and it was the last 3 minutes of the game. So he wanted to waste time because they had a lead.
Great answer. Can I ask you a question, Hannah? So
yeah, sure.
Why was it such a good decision to use his top hand? Because that's been quite a big debate over here in the UK recently. Go ahead.
I mean, I think he made the good decision in using his top hand, because if he used his bottom hand, there wouldn't be as much. He probably wouldn't reach the ball because there's more distance, I guess.
Yeah. So the wider it goes, the more he must think about the near hand or his bottom hand. The higher it is and more central it would be. That's why he used his top hand. I know Ryan Thompson wants to probably come in and jump on that bit as well. Go ahead, my friend.
No, I think she answered it spot on. You know, again, the top one right there was very effective because of the height of which the ball was. And then, Tony, you just mentioned about the distance when it's away from the body, you know, talk about length or width, then you go with the near and the bottom end. So yeah, both answers was top class. Well done, both of you.
Hannah, can I also give you one little insight into that second save? Have you any idea what kind of save we call that?
What do you mean, like the second save he made?
The second save he made with his body, yeah.
A front smother?
Good. Okay. Do you know what we call that in the UK?
No.
We call it a starfish. Yeah, because he opened all his 4 limbs. If he was a starfish, he'd have all 5 going at once. Okay, so that's what we call it. So a little insight into some terminology there, but great answers. Yeah. Well done, mate. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
And just one more there, Anna. Just one more to that piece right there. We talk about orthodox and unorthodox stuff. That second save was totally unorthodox. It was Casper Schmeichel doing whatever it takes to keep the ball out of the back of the net. And sometimes we have to make things up in the game just to be effective and efficient at times, which he did in that moment.
Ooh, thank you. Sam, you mentioned one more person, but I'll probably you have 20 seconds if you want to include that person.
Matthew, did you want to add anything?
I think Hannah covered it all there. Like the other thing we said that he just knew where he needed to be with, the first save, the team was further out, so he knew where to position himself off his line and on the ball line. And then the second one, he was getting crowded in the box, so he was on his line and he just knew where he needed to be through just the training that he's done.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. Thank you, Matt. I'll turn over to Mackenzie with the tactical element of development.
Yes. Griffin, the man Griffin is going to be our leader. We focused on the tactical components of the game or the saves.
So for tactical, we decided that it really comes down to making decisions and how effective those decisions will be. And he has to be aware of where he is, where others are, and how long into the game you are. So in the first clip, it was a huge save in the early minutes, and he was really hyped, but he had to turn and set up for the corner to come because he didn't want to concede a quick corner and then ultimately concede a goal because that would just take away from the save. And then in the second clip, it was late in the game. They were only up by 1, so he calmed down the team, and it was really showed his game management skills because if he just sat there for a minute, calmed everyone down, he could distribute the ball and they could hold it, take it to the corner, and run the last few minutes out. And then the difference in day and night, he was prepared for both. One thing that I do, I try to rest if I have a late game at night, 4:35. I try to rest, take it easy the day before, and he was ready for the early morning game in the first clip and then a late at night game in the second clip.
Excellent. Excellent. Mackenzie, anything else that your group would like to add regarding the tactical side?
Anybody else other than Griffin? I don't know. I think Griffin was the main man for that one.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Because obviously Ryan alluded to it when he did his piece on the tactical side. In particular, his depth in the goal. Because when we talk about the tactical side, out of possession, we talk about your support position, which is really your depth and angle to the ball. So what did he have in front of him, guys, or what a lot of in front of him? Anybody answer that in that moment? Griff, are you going to speak? I think you're going to press your mute button there. No, well, listen, he had a lot of bodies in front of him, yeah? So you look at where the ball was struck from, guys. If he'd have gone down the line too far, it would have killed his reaction time, probably less time to deal with the ball once it come through those bodies. So in that situation, guys, your natural instinct is as the ball goes back up the pitch, you want to go forward. You want to narrow the angle, make the goal look smaller and so on. But then you've got to think about what's happening in front of you. So it's the context of what's going on. If he'd have come too high off his line there, he'd have had less time and wouldn't have seen the ball, probably wouldn't have made the save. But he held quite close to his line. Yeah, so he's been quite brave there. But what he trusted was his ability to actually then get across the goal and make the save. But the tactical side of that would be his support position and his depth in relation to where the ball was, but also in relation to what was happening in front of him. Yeah, the bodies and the number of bodies and the depth of those bodies towards the goal. You must think about that in any shot-stopping situation, in particular if there's bodies in front of you.
Cool. Excellent. Well done. Well done, Mackenzie. Well done, Griffin. The psychological group. Let's go with Coach Mark.
Yeah, my wonderful dream team had the pleasure of talking about the psychological aspect of these two clips. So we're going to have Tabor lead clip 1, and then we're going to have Charlton lead clip 2 here.
So for the psychological part of the game in the first clip, I mean, it's 2 minutes into the game, and he's receiving probably the hardest shot he'll face the entire game. And he does fantastically in pushing it over and making the save. And as I think Hannah said earlier, it boosted his confidence. It probably made it so that the entire rest of the game he was just like, I'm not getting scored on. It's just nothing's happening to me. And so, I mean, it just sets him up for the rest of the game, and it sets up his team knowing that they've got someone who will always have their back throughout the entire game.
Good answer, Taylor. Good answer,
Awesome.
Tabor.
Awesome.
Charlton, what are you talking about for the second clip here?
All right. Good afternoon. My conversation with my team on the second clip, we were dealing with a crossing ball. So our keeper was very robust in his approach in collecting the ball. He also was very focused based on the psychological aspect of it. He was showing bravery, with the winning mentality being the fact that we are leading 1-0. He was also real fired up, and he exercised the emotional control in settling the game. You know, his confidence as a goalkeeper was in display. Also, his leadership, whilst he was on the ground, he was killing the time, knowing that with his ability and with him being the main person and the holder of the ball, he is the one who know how to manage the time of the game.
Awesome.
Sean, can I ask you a question? So,
yes.
Did you recognise what the score was after he made that save?
1-0.
Yeah. So, how do you think he felt after that save?
After that save, he felt like the man that is in charge of winning the game.
The king, yeah. He's like, wow, it's the last minute of the game. We're winning 1-0. I've just made a worldy save.
Yes, man.
You know,
3
so
points.
confidence. Imagine his confidence in that moment. You know.
Yes. High
just thought I'd ask
confidence. High confidence.
Edward, did you have anything to add for the last for the 2 clips there?
No, I mean, I just thought it was really important that beginning of the game and really late in the game, I think it really showed the importance of always being switched on mentally, even when your team may not be, because game's almost over, game's just starting, and kind of the leadership shown where you make that big save to help out your teammates, and then like we're talking about, just giving the entire team confidence that they have a keeper they can trust back there if they do screw up. That's important.
Interesting, Edward. You just mentioned big save there, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Was that in the psychological elements, or was that in another one?
Yes. Yes.
Well, there you go. There's a little bit of a clue, guys. So we're starting to get somewhere with this. Yeah. So brilliant. I love that, and we'll come back to that at the end.
Okay.
Awesome. Mark, everyone good with your group, sir?
Yep. That's pretty much a wrap.
Okay. Well, let's continue then. Moving on to social with Coach Greg.
Hello. We were just getting going. We were socializing. No, we had a great conversation. Rennie had some great points. I hope, Rennie, you don't mind sharing what you shared with me.
We just talked a little bit about how his team came back and supported the team came back and supported the keeper after both big saves, and kind of showed that they were supporting him and were like, yeah, they supported him, and that they probably would have done that even if he hadn't made such big saves because they're a unit and they fight together. So
awesome.
And then we just touched on, we had Coach Jason with us, and we made a scenario where you're an 8th grader, you were asked to come up to the varsity. Are you expected to be a leader and tell those 2 All-American senior middle backs what to do? So we had an inner conversation there. So Jason, maybe you can chip in, because the players and the coaches kind of had a different take on it. Not different.
No, it's expected, actually. I mean, it's
a different perspective. Right.
I mean, it's expected. No,
you're causing trouble, Jace.
No. It's the honest truth. You guys all are confident as keepers. To be a good goalkeeper, you have to be, or you're not going to be successful in the position. So a lot come in and think they need to take over the game. They need to dominate. They need to tell everybody, hey, I'm the man, you got me. If you're an 8th or 9th grader and you're coming in on a team full of 11th and 12th graders, as a coach, I'm not expecting that at all, okay? If you have All-American center backs, as Coach Kenny said, let those guys lead the back 4, all right? Just go in and do your job, be confident of what you're doing, and it'll be fine. It'll work out, and if you show that you can do what we all kind of know you can do, it kind of takes care of itself. And I think what Tony was saying, this all kind of starts to wrap together, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can that 8th grader become a leader, Jace?
Oh, absolutely.
How does that, Greg, you, Jace, How do they become a leader?
I mean, I think it starts with these pillars. I mean, you start with the technical side of it, and you kind of start to go from there, and it all kind of breathes and rolls down like a snowball.
Yeah.
Building blocks.
I think that's the interesting thing is you're really not a leader, and the leader are two very different things. You're probably not going to become the leader till the seniors graduate, unless you are just a special eighth grader. But you can become a leader by developing confidence that you're a hard worker, you're dependable, and things like that. And I think that's an important thing to know. That social component is something that develops over time, and you can be consistent in your work effort and your energies and all those things. But there's also, a maturation thing that's going to occur just over time that you can't probably hard to rush.
Well, I think you can show leadership qualities without being the leader, can't you? You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's where it stems from, and then that's where it grows. You know. Awesome.
Can I make a point? One more point?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Rennie,
absolutely.
Well, Rennie actually brought it up because she actually was in this situation this year. She's a freshman playing high school, with your varsity. You're talking 11 and 12th graders. And it's one of those things where I want all of you guys, you young keepers, or this age group, you're probably all 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, to understand that as coaches, we're not expecting you to do that. All right. We need you to grow and take your time growing at the pace you're going to grow at. So don't go in with this pressure that you have to take over everything. You don't. Do your job and it will come.
Can I make one little last point?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, ironically, as a freshman, I started at Penn State, and I had a wonderful coach, Walter Barr, some of you noticed, and I was a very good shot stopper and cross catcher. I was not a very good soccer player. So I caught a cross. I ended up throwing it 50 miles an hour at my center midfielder neck high during practice. And the coach said, Gregory, when you say keeper, I'm confident you're going to catch it. When you get it, no one knows what's going to happen. So just catch it and give the ball to a good player. And I felt very good because as Coach said here, I knew my role. I wasn't expected to lead the team. I was expected to do what I was capable of doing. 3 years later, then I had made a couple more decisions. But it's a wonderful it's a wonderful journey that you're on as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Greg. Last group, definitely not least, the physical side with Coach Taylor.
All right. So we had some great feedback from all the goalkeepers, but we chose Perry is going to lead the discussion and discuss clips 1 and 2 for us.
Okay. So for clip 1, we said what was important was his explosive power and speed of movement. Without that, he would have never made the save and parried it over. We also said that keeping athletic position and stance was very important, which directly correlates over to his positioning. And his linear ability to track the shot was important, as well as everything else, as well as his flexibility on making the parry save. Without that, he would not have gotten his hand over. And that leads right into his landing, which his body control really helped with.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And
excuse me.
For the second shot, we said his readiness and alertness for a close range shot was very important, as well as his strong reflexes. And it was more important on the first save, his body control to stay up and be aggressive and be big while getting on that rebound right away. And yeah, that's what we said about his just physical ability to be strong enough to make all the saves.
Awesome. Perry, can I just jump in there?
Go ahead.
You mentioned that there's a little term you used there, speed and movement. When I work with my goalkeepers, I like them to think of in three ways. So speed of thought. So are they processing the information that's happening in and around them and in front of them? Yeah. How quickly can they digest that? And then speed of movement. Okay, so is there a movement required for them to get the correct position to then think about the speed of action? So once they've processed the information, once they've moved to where they need to be, what is the action then that they're going to use and create quickly? So try and remember those three things, guys. Speed of thought, speed of movement, speed of action. And you won't go far wrong.
Yeah. Taylor, I'm going to turn it back to you for any more from your respective group. Ryan, I'll get you after, I promise.
No, all good, all good. I was just adding something to what Perry was saying just now.
Why don't you go ahead first? I'll get back to Taylor. Go ahead, add to what she was saying.
Yeah, we
please.
just wanted to actually look at the closeness of the shot and his willingness to take, you know, a shot to his body that close. You know, we talk about the robustness. You know, how much days, weeks, and months it took for him to prepare his body to take impact like that. You know, so that was another key part of that moment.
Excellent.
Back to you, Eric.
Yes, sir. Taylor, anything left from your group?
I don't think so. I think Perry really covered it. The reflexes came up. That was a big part of the discussion in the second one, based on the proximity of the shot, and then also the other part was just coordination, the ability to track the ball. That came up from one of the other goalkeepers in the group as well. So, yeah, no, they did a great job.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Tony, I'm going to turn it back then now to you and to Coach Ryan. We have around 5 minutes left. I do have some house cleaning items at the end. If you just leave me 30 seconds, that's all I need. But I'm going to turn it over to the two of you.
Okay, so what I wanted to sort of share with you guys, and I've chosen not necessarily save making. So what you've seen tonight is the goalkeeper working out of possession. Just to flip it on its head, and just to give you an idea of how you focused on individual elements when you've been in your groups. But I think we started to find that a lot of those elements, even in those just two simple clips that you've seen, a lot of those elements can dovetail and come together and conjoin to create a situation or an action, or this is what the goalkeeper faces, okay? So I just wanted to share this with you. And I've chosen distribution here and in possession area of the game. But again, when you look at the 5 elements of development, just look at how many aspects of those 5 elements can actually go into the makeup of a distribution situation. Now, this can be across all aspects of your game. Look how many of those globes that we've shared with you can actually be considered in any given moment, whether it be in possession or out of possession stage of the game. And that's really where we want you to start thinking about. Remember, guys, this is just a taster for you this evening of what's to come in the coming months, where real depth of detail across these 5 elements will be shared with you. And this is how we want you to start thinking, that it's not just one element that makes up the moment. It can be a collaboration across all 5 elements that can link together to actually create a successful outcome, whether that be in a practice situation or whether it be in a game situation. And that's why I think it was important for us to share that with you today. So, Ryan, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. We talk about just scratching the surface, and I think it's important for us as coaches, as goalkeepers, to understand that the role is ever evolving, and the mindset of learning must take the forefront. You know, because that's the only way we're going to continue to develop more world-class goalkeepers, more leaders. You know, because there's so much more demand for what, you know, is expected of us. So I encourage more platform like this that we're doing. I encourage anyone out there just to continue to be a student of the game, because you're never too old to learn. You know, as we're doing right now, this is great for all of us. We're collaborating and we're iron sharpen iron, in other words. You know, and we just gotta continue to evolve that way and push the goalkeeping network and union forward, and so we could, you know, create more team awards and Hope Solos of the world and Casey Keller. So this is great. Feel free, questions. You know, I'm here. Tony is there. Tony, Eric. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to actually, to that point, first and foremost, I'll come back for a thank you to Tony and Ryan, and I'll do some household items in a moment. But I do want to give the opportunity for any goalkeeper coaches and goalkeepers that are online right now to ask Tony and Ryan any questions that they might have.
Feel free, guys. Don't leave it here. I'm hoping that means silence means we've got some.
My question, Sean,
Yes,
Charlton.
Oh, what's up, Charlton?
I am here, Sir Thompson. My question is, I direct it to you, Sir Thompson. What is the mindset, from your standpoint, where you're coming from as a Jamaican player? What is the mindset of our culture here in Jamaica as goalkeepers and also goalkeeper coaches? What do you think is the fallback?
I can be open and frank because I've went through that process. I think Jamaica in general, we have natural athletes, and I think, we depend a lot on our athletic ability, and we don't take a holistic approach. We don't satisfy the social aspect. We don't satisfy the psychological aspect, the tactical aspect, and the technical side. So I think that's a big part of it. Also, a huge part of it is, a lot of the coaches there, not to talk bad about my coaches that actually want to go and help there. They don't take an approach of a student. They, that's one. And two, the federation itself, could go have a conversation about it all day. The federation don't facilitate, place and stuff for people to grow and learn and evolve. They don't take, for example, they don't take goalkeeping serious. And I think they could just go by, by just being a natural athlete. We have gotten by over the past 10 years, producing 5, professional goalkeeper, Andre Blake, myself, Donovan Ricketts, Dwayne Miller, and Dwayne Carr. I know most recently Amal Knight. That's 6 of us. And there's only one coach that came to Jamaica and started that trend. Paul Campbell. We can't stop talking about him because he was the first coach to come to our country and take the holistic approach. And I hope everybody here get a chance to meet that guy because I'm highly influenced by him, and he's highly influenced by Peter Mello. And so it's like it's just you learn and you pass it on. You pass it on to me, and for me, I have to do the same. For you guys, the younger generation that's coming. I have to pave a way. So how I go about doing that? I try to be a student of the game, try to get my license, trying to put the work, try to go on forums like this where I could learn from class coaches here, Tony, Eric, Taylor, could go on and on. Chad, there's a lot of coaches here that, I'm learning from as well. Even though I played it for 16 years, it doesn't mean that I know everything. And I think if we take that approach in Jamaica, you know what, I'm going to be a student and I want to help and develop and take the holistic approach. We will produce not 5, but maybe 20, 30, 40 more professional goalkeepers and leaders, coming out of the country.
I think what's great here, Ryan, is that we got a wonderful opportunity to do some groundbreaking work. We can play the road here for many, not only in Jamaica, but really across the world. We have a wonderful opportunity. And one thing I would say to everybody here with us tonight, you're part of an alliance now that is here to help you. We've got over 30 top-level coaches that are going to be working and delivering this program to you guys, coaches, keepers alike. So don't ever feel afraid to contact us, to ask us questions, to jump onto the other Zoom meetings and everything else. We're here for you guys. That's why we've done this. We want to share the knowledge. We want to share the experiences, create better goalkeepers, but also create better coaches to help those goalkeepers. So it's about you, but we need you to play the biggest part because we can deliver this all night long, but we need you to drive us to give you the answers you need. So don't leave it out there. Come to us and we'll help you. This is what the Alliance is about.
Yeah, and Tony, you touched on a big thing, and just to tie back a little bit about the Jamaica style and the Jamaica shortcomings versus what America have, right? Here in America, here in the UK, there's tons of resources. Unbelievable. Here's one, for example, what we're doing right now. This is resources right here. Take advantage of it. Don't take it for granted. Take advantage of it. Be a student of the game. Learn, and great things will happen. That's something that's lacking in my country. They don't have resources. But here we have, technology that's finding itself in Jamaica now because Sean is from Jamaica and he's on the Zoom. No, he's taking initiative now. No, how can we spread this more and make more people involved? No.
Awesome.
Thanks for the platform, Eric.
No, that was, guys, that you wrapped it up quite nicely. You actually took a lot of things I was going to say, so you made my part right now quite easy. All real quickly, I'll get you out of here. All of you, if you have emailed the United Goalkeeping Alliance at yahoo.com address, you should have a notebook in addition to the 2021 calendar. If you do not receive that email, please make sure you send that email, your email, to that address I just mentioned, and you'll receive 2 emails real quickly after the fact. One being an auto message for tonight, and the other being the information regarding the notebook and the 2021 calendar. Our next meeting is next week. We're going to conduct all of December, or that is not true. It's this week, it's next week, and the following, so 3 weeks in a row. Next week, we're going to have Coach Mark Litton. Coach Mark is an ex-U.S. national team goalkeeper coach with our futsal side of things, and also with him will be Coach Rick Stainton. Coach Rick is the goalkeeper coach at Georgetown University. I mistakenly said George Washington, our last one, so my apologies there, Coach Rick. And then the following week we'll have our Dr. Bill Steffen, Coach Jesse Goldman, who is at Northeastern University and the goalkeeper coach with the men's side there, and Ryan Defaba, who runs a performance counseling group, which is the psychological phase for student athletes. So some pretty exciting coaches that we have on, and it's going to be run very similar to this, where we're looking for your engagement. We want you asking questions, and we're going to try and keep it to an hour. We went 5 minutes over today. Apologies on that, but hopefully you guys found it beneficial.
Eric, can I just say a huge thank you to everybody for being here today. Goalkeepers, coaches, particularly those coaches that facilitated the breakout rooms. And again, a big thank you to Sam for looking after the Zoom meeting for us. Well done, guys. Thank you very much for your participation.
Yeah. And everyone, real quickly, finally, a quick golf clap to Coach Tony and Coach Ryan, please, for their help today. Any questions, guys, hit that email address we talked about. Otherwise, have an awesome week. Keep the ball to the back of the net, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Please
coaches, all coaches, stay on, please. All coaches.
Thank you, guys. Can you please
Bye. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Can you
Thank
please
you.
restate the email, please?
Thank you.
Yes. It is United Goalkeeping Alliance at yahoo.com.